Hey everybody, this is Tim Shaw, and you're here. Where else are you here? You're down in the basement, the mere bowels of the Black Cat Lounge. It's rather nice down here. I kind of like it. It's a little bit humid upstairs, but it's nice and calm and cool down here, so everything is great. Hey, uh, just want to let you guys know that I want to thank everybody for coming out and doing the Ouija board seminar with me, and it was great to be able to share my part of my collection. It's one of those things that I don't get a chance to bring out because let's face it, there's so many boards, and uh, I was able to bring out and showcase a lot of my favorite ones, and it was really fun. And then really, people are going to work with the boards no matter what, so it's nice to be able to stand there and say, guys, really, this is the way you should do these things. Don't screw up. Just do them the way I'm going to tell you how to do it. Do it properly, do it safely, and use common sense. And that's a big thing. Hey, I'm going to tell you, we have a great super show tonight. And I just want to go and tell everybody that Joe Piari from Paranormal Oddities here in Dubuque, New York, put an impromptu expedition adventure to the Hinsdale House. And, Joe and I have been going there since 2011. And there was an opening, and we got a chance to get there, and we got a chance to work. Now, I'll be honest with you. I was on a dry spell for EVPs for the longest time. And I got a lot of little stuff, and I do have some knockings, and they're metallic sounding, and I'm going to put that up on Facebook tomorrow. But I want to share with you this really kind of neat EVP that we got. And we're up in the main bedroom, and that Mary's room, and anybody that watched like Paranormal Lockdown knows that I don't like that Mary's room, which is off the main room. So I asked if we could stay. So here's the EVP that we used, and let me just bring it up here, and we gotta just do. Here we are. Let me ask you this: would it be okay if we stayed in Mary's room for the night? What did you guys think? Pretty cool, huh? I mean, it's one of those things where you just kind of sit there and go, holy crap, that's almost real time. And it had no. And I also got another one. We were singing Happy Birthday. I got a real low no. And but the knockings were really you'll hear them. Because in spiritualist terms, we hear knockings. And the problem is with paranormal investigators, a house that's creaking, sometimes a house will creak the same way twice. And you'll get that kind of like that wood knock. With this was more, you can hear the difference. You can definitely hear the difference. So, I mean, I really thought that that's really great. Now, I just want to go and tell everybody. I'm going to tell everybody right now. I got a great guest tonight. I love this guy. I met him as a matter of fact. And the reason why I'm sharing the Hinsdale EVP is the fact that I met this gentleman up at where else? At the Hinsdale House. We were up there with Tim Malley and Jimmy and my brain just are Anito, Deacon Jimmy Anito. And we were doing a thing for polygraphs for Tim Malley's charity. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely love this guy. And right from the time I first met him, we were like really, we were both on the same wavelength. So, I mean, this is what I absolutely loved about him, and being on that same wavelength was great. And Christy Lund's in the room, and Bill Randall is in the room from the USS Edson, the man, the myth, the legend. But you know what? Let me bring on our guest so we can talk a little bit about our topic today. Our guest tonight. I shouldn't say guest because he should just like be hanging out here. He's a retired paramedic captain. He's a drummer. He's a musician. He's a paranormal investigator. He was seen on Paranormal 911. He's co-host with Kelly Miller of the hit internet show Talkin' Tech. This guy has got some phenomenal tech. And Jason Marble, this guy will give you a true run for your money when it comes to tech. So anyway, let me bring a good friend of mine from down in the great state of Texas. Mr. Keith Bailey. Keith,
Tell-
baby,
Tell
welcome.
them to hurry up that my ice cream is melted, the ice is gone, and I don't know what I'm going to do about this chicken dinner. Because it literally flew away. Oh, let me call you back. All right, bye, Bob. Oh, hello, everybody. Oh,
this is what we put up with. Every time I see Keith, it's usually some kind of insanity. And you know what? Today is no different. He's just, I got him on the air and I looked, I'm going, is there something wrong with his head? And I thought, wait, there is not that shiny bald spot up there. There are like all sorts of hats. There's all sorts of craziness. And I thought, he's here. And this is the true Keith Bailey. Keith Bailey is not your average paranormal investigator, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that right now. Right now. I don't know what he is sometimes, but he's not your normal one. How you doing, Keith?
Man, I'm so this is really fun. Peg Herman, you are adorable. I gotta tell you, I see all these people, and listen. So many people loved him, and they loved him for all the right reasons. There really aren't none not to. What a great guy! When he has serious friends like me, I mean, you got to look at life through this seriousness, and that's how me and Tim roll. Often people tell me I'm a man of many hats, so yes, he was right. DW, that's Drum Workshop. Okay, there. I'm going to lay that one down. Now, yes, let me find it. Okay, here we go. Little Houston Fire Department. It's in time, yeah. And, what do we got here? I'm a big hunter. Stuff all about the hunting industry, and I give we found a cap here for me.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. You finally got to it. We had to dig down a little deeper, Keith, but we found it finally. It's the real you.
Underneath it all lays what I really love to do. I love the paranormal. Now you may be looking at my earrings, thinking, "What is the new style?" Well, I just flew back from Phoenix, and let me tell you, my arms are killing me. But I flew back from Phoenix, and they're real big about the mask. So I made sure that when I got back that I had enough masks. They were crazy about it. You can't walk through the door. You can't see the bathroom. My glasses fogged up at the counter. I was like, now what?
Yes, finally, I know that. I feel your pain, man. I know that feeling. So you know what? I had a choice. When we were filming for the last Portals to Hell on from Discovery Plus, I had a choice of flying into Newark airport or driving, which is about 6-7 hours from here. I took the option of driving because I knew my mask wasn't going to be sideways, and I could actually see with my glasses.
I agree. So with that being said, I've came up with a new mask. Now you're going to say you're kind of creating a new mask out of this. It's multi-purpose. Listen, what you can do with these things are they serve so many purposes. Now, first of all, you can certainly cover your face, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and if you sneeze, you can also kind of and get that cleaned up. But you can also, in case you have a moment where you short your shorts, you can reach down, take these off, go back to the old standby, and you got yourself a mask. These things are priceless, literally.
Hey, I never listen. I'm just going to be honest with you. Everybody out there that has ever gone and investigated with me, or investigated me too, will always know that I always have the pens or extra underwear with me at all times. All times.
Listen, you can't trust a fart. The older you get at our age, you get to laughing or something scares you, and oh God, I got to go outside. I'm going down to the creek and feed the bluegills. Listen, those times anymore, the older we get. Look at all the sweethearts. We got Peg laughing. Hey, if I could get you laughing these days, we're doing something.
That's important. It's so important.
So really, folks, in all seriousness these days, you can also do these as a means to kind of just clean your glasses in case you have a moment you're in the mud. It's like a shield. It can kind of keep those clean. You can keep going. But hey, it is all about fun. So when Tim got with me about being on the show tonight, I was like, literally, we were just to the point of kind of getting packed up and coming back from Vulture City, and I'll speak some more about that in a minute. But I was like, you know what? He could call me an hour out and I would be on the show because Tim's just that guy. I reach out to Tim quite a bit as like a mentor. We all go through bumpy roads in life, but I will tell you this.
Yes, we
At
do.
the end of the day, the people who are true friends will see through the untrue this much unkind
Right. I agree with you. right
now. And start
we got a little bit of problem with things freezing up, but no, you're back with us, Keith.
Yeah. So you go back in time, you see, where did it come from? Poltergeist days. We needed some people to help that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up finding it, but back then I don't think they had near the drama. Nowadays, what are we doing? We're arguing over who gets to do what, who gets to go where. This is my this is mine. Oh, I'm on a show when you're not. And let's get the really big one. I'm going places. Watch me. Next, camera. It's really big. Woo, it's big. Here I come. I've really got things going, and stand by. 2 weeks later, well, I'm going to go chew bubble gum, or
it's so true.
What flavor ice cream would you like, sir? Listen, got lots of love for people, but you tend to bring down the field as much as you talk about lifting up the field.
Right.
With putting your negativity out there that things aren't going your way. Listen, newsflash. This field is not about you. Why don't you go out there and preach some positivity?
Amen. I agree.
And then if you get something and you land it and you're filming it and it's there and you're like, next week the show's on, let some people know. But every other day, next and next and next and next. Listen, folks, calm the ride down. Just go out there and tell people how you're helping people. I went to a residential case and I made somebody not cry today. Tell me you're doing that and I'll follow you. I'll be your friend. But we got kids that barely have their freckles start with little pimples, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I'm going to have a show and follow me on this and pay to watch my show. And I'm on a paranormal, whatever, program, pay me, follow me. I'm like, I get to do this and go help people. Do you honestly think I want to pay for you to watch you and you're doing it about money, not about helping people? Big fat answer. Ready? No, not going to happen.
Keith, did I ever tell you about Lilydale and what that old guy told me? Did I ever tell you about that?
No, Tim, I don't think so.
Back when I was a kid, we were down there, visiting relatives, and I'd gone and done Lyceum and stuff. And Friday, Saturday nights, you weren't allowed to sit on the porch of the Maplewood Hotel, which is this little old Victorian hotel. And Friday, Saturday nights, all the visiting mediums and all of the registered mediums would be up there. And as kids, we'd be sitting there listening like, oh my God, the stories that they would tell sometimes would terrify us. But I always remember, old guy looked at me and said, hey, listen, boy, what you're learning here is to be an addition to your life. It's not to be your life. So in other words, get out there, get a job. And what you're doing here, what you're learning here is to be that wonderful addition that you do for intrinsic purposes, to get out there, whether you're helping people, whether you're doing it to try to push the field a little bit further, whether you're trying to go and you're trying to figure out, please prove it to myself, prove it to other people, show that there's something beyond the veil. This is what's important, not shows. And Keith, I mean, I've been on network quite a few times, and
Yep.
I consult on network, and I find locations for network. And I'm here to tell you that people don't quit your day jobs because they don't pay. They don't pay
the
well.
chase. Here's what the thing about it is, okay? And think about what you just said. The chase for the dream of getting there, even when you do, and you get a show, it doesn't mean people are going to necessarily like you. I'm on a TV show. I got it. I did it. Finally. No more selling ice cream, or I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go do this. And, you never see people, hey, I'm at work right now. Oh, my God. 1:30 in the afternoon, they're posting, I'm out at so-and-so at a place investigating. The next day at 10:15, I'm investigating 7 days a week. Newsflash, get a job. Get a job and go to work. Then when you go investigate somewhere, and again, you help somebody, hello, go out and say, hey, I'm helping people. But my heart pumps cold, crunchy peanut butter to all these cupcakes and snowbirds out
I've
there.
never heard that one.
Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Oh, my God.
I went and investigated a building that's 300 years old, and I got an orb. I got an AVP. Oh, look what I did. I did it. Okay, so has hundreds. And the Rock says hundreds of other investigators, and you fall on your face and go bump the camera and hit record and get an orb going by, and then you say, oh, it is what it is. It talked to me. It did this. It did that. Okay, fine, great. But again, I talk to and I don't go out and you see me saying I talk to people who have been on shows, some of the best from the beginning or when paranormal started.
Right.
And they are now.
I mean, we all know it. And let's face it, every one of us, you and I have done this for so long that it's like, we know the very early, the earliest people that were on the shows. I mean, guys like you and I go back to, almost the Robert Stack days, when you start thinking about that. And, people, where are they now? If they ever did a where are they now, it's like people would be like, well, you know what? I worked for 2 years and now I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And that's the way it is.
Right. They're on a day pass from the nursing home, walking around mumbling.
That's you and me. That's you and me.
Probably passing more than air on their back end, and their front end's already saturated. And they're saying, hey, do you know I was on a TV show? Do you know I was on Hey, I was on a TV show. Listen, I talked to some great people this weekend in Vulture City who have been on TV shows. And it's such, every one of us said it over and over and over. Listen, people, everybody, and they don't want to tell it to your face, is getting tired of, I want to get a show. I want to get a show. Get in line with the other thousands and thousands. And The Rock says thousands of people that do. And then, okay, great. Then they go do it. But they're short-lived. Nobody's got a Rolls Royce and a mansion, a red carpet, and champagne. It doesn't last long. It does, and when you do,
it doesn't.
Even when you do, you get it. Okay, finally, you did it. Okay, guess what? Does it mean people are going to like you? No, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get free ice cream at the Basket 31s. It doesn't mean that. Okay, people are going to say, this guy's got a show, but he's a butthead. He got a show, and he's a butthead. God,
yeah.
I don't even like him. So people are going to say, oh, yeah, good for you. Who cares? Who cares? I don't even like you as a person. So why do you think that? So you get it. Oh, I got a show. Who cares? I'm literally to the point. This was the show to get to say, here it is. Here's what it's about. Okay, big deal. It's everything. Every person. And the people who were on them now are doing other things. And they
Yes.
are. Because guess what? Again, it's short lived. There's some people I see in the chat room that have been on TV as well, a couple of
Yeah.
episodes with some
Yeah.
things. And it was fun. Listen, it was fun. But in
Exactly.
its
Exactly.
own in its own way, it was, it seemed like you got in there and you did it, but it was like, oh well, so what? So you tell people, I went and I did it, and it was fun. But what I get, if you tell me I can go do that, or little Miss Bluebird down the street has something in her home, she needs help, I'm going to say, see you guys. I'm going to help this woman. That's why you don't see me, contrary to what some, well, someone likes to put out there. It's not the truth. I don't care. And The Rock says one damn thing care about running out there and being on a TV show. I go out there, I do the things I do for people. I have helped lots of people. I've helped some, and then I've helped someone. And you know what? I love helping people. And 99% of the time, that stuff is all kudos. It's good stuff. People are like, thanks for helping me. Here you go back. And sadly, the ones
Yep.
that don't, and where there's smoke, there's fire. Watch that, folks. You're going to see. You're going to see the ones who puff up the air and puff it all up and chat about unkind things about people, which is what this show's about. And guess
Right.
what? You know where the truth lies? And the person that says, you want the truth, bring it. Bring it. Because I'll tell you the truth and I'll tell you exactly what it is. But do you see me going out there on social media and saying, oh, here's the truth, here's the document, here's everything? No. You know why? I'm a better person than that. I have more respect for this man and Daniel Claus and Chris Sanders and the other people that are on here. That
Yeah,
I'm
I
not. I
agree.
don't want to rip
I
my
agree.
reputation because of one turd in a punch bowl. One turd in a punch bowl.
I've never heard that one
One
either.
day that turd in a punch bowl
I'm
will
stealing that
continue.
one.
Will continue. Oh, all my magical powers are gone. I'm melting. I'm sinking. And then nobody is going to want to play with them. So that's okay. The day will come. So I always say this, for the friends I have, I love them. And the ones who were and then decided to not be, it's your loss. Because I had your 6. I will have every one of these people in this chat room 6 when the day comes.
Yep.
But it's when you hurt someone and you go out of your way to be mean and spread lies. And then guess what? You want to go, oh, let's all play well together. Well, then practice what you preach there, rock star.
Well,
Because when
that's
you
exactly.
don't, people will catch on.
Exactly.
And it's nice to know that this weekend, that's exactly what I heard.
That's exactly.
Woo!
I mean, Keith, seriously, I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I mean, we've talked about it. I turned around and I left Western New York totally. I refused to work in Western New York for about 5-6 years. And the reason for it was all this nastiness and all this one-upmanship. And everybody, what upsets me more than anything else. And Danny Kless will tell you exactly what, he'll agree exactly with what we're saying. When one of us succeeds, we all succeed.
Yes.
We should be happy if one of our people in our little group or in the area actually gets something somewhere. We should not be jealous. Why are we jealous? First of all, nobody made really any money. Second of all, the craft table probably wasn't that good. And third, I mean, in all honesty, why are we bringing everything down? What the ones that attack you the most are the ones that cry unity the loudest. And if you and I will turn around and say, whoa, and do what they did to like us on, on social media or whatever, then they become what? They become the victim and we're the bad people. So you know what? We're the people that are attacked are in a no-win situation. So why not just go and say, okay, this makes me mad. but I refuse to be like them, and I refuse to go to their level. And you know what? I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to forgive them as hard as it's going to be. I had a guy that was just relentless with me. I forgave him. I totally forgave him. But do you think I would go and help him? No. Do you think that I would go and be his friend? No. Do you think we would go and hold hands and sing Kumbaya together? No. No.
No.
Absolutely not. Because I'm going to tell you what, Spirit, God, whatever you want to say, will come down and say to you, forgive those who trespass against you. But do yourself a favor. Don't step in the poop again. Use your head. Don't go and step in poop. The guy put a pile there. You don't have to step in it. So forgive him and move on. Move on.
That's been the very cool thing. And I have to, God knows Daniel Claus, every time he ever sees my name on his identifier, it's like, oh no, it's Keith. No, but he will answer, hey Keith, how's it going? What's up? But I'm not calling anymore about making sugar donuts and let's eat them underneath the rainbow. What I am saying is my
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I had a book of them. When I was in college at the National Fire Academy, a guy has a book on them. I have it's going to be out one day. But here's where the cricket gets eaten by the bird. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's because I respect Daniel. I respect what he's done in the form of research. Yes. I respect that he is a man that will say, what I'm about to tell you, Keith, is probably going to pop your bubble and make the icing melt. But guess what?
It's the truth.
You need to hear it. And then when you grow from it, you'll be a better man. So and that's where I'm at.
I agree.
What happened to me was only one thing in the period. It was one thing, and 99% of the people are good and have love, and they even reached out to me and says, Keith, I'm seeing the light of what you're shoveling out there. I'm starting to see it, and so I was like, you have to experience that for yourself. But they're like, no, I'm seeing it. Before I was this Keith, he's a big guy, he has a big mouth. But now I'm like, or they're like, you know what? It's starting to be the talk. But you know what? This person, like you said, they stepped in their own shit. They walked around. They spread it everywhere of nothing but about them. But let me come down to it at the end of the day. At one time or another, you're going to see somebody face to face. You're going to get to look and maybe not run from someone who says, hey, all that keyboard pirate stuff you did, let's flip the tailgate and let's talk about what was being talked about before. And nobody else, not this person or that person, you and me. And let's see now how we can talk it out about how we got to that. Right. But you know what? I have yet, The Rock says yet, to have anybody that spread that and said that to back it up and then say, I'll tell you what, this is where it came from. And this is that. You know what? Because snot-nosed punk, run your mouth, stand up, be a man, which that's pretty hard to do for anyway. But you know what?
Yeah, I agree.
And if you don't, then keep your mouth shut. And let me get into something else that is important. And I'm going to go with this, but see where I'm at with this. Let's talk about this.
Right.
I'm not a psychic. I am not a clairvoyant. Okay. I don't write books. I'm not an author. I'm not any of those. So what I don't do is I don't criticize others who are other things like paranormal investigators, researchers, going out teching, mentoring, and actually helping people. So what do? I do one thing. I stay in my lane. I don't run my big old bucket head with my big old mouth and go, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You just, really?
Oh
Well,
my God! But
I don't
I have
tell
seen, I
other
have heard
people.
that.
I do not tell other people, what you did, that's wrong. You totally got that reading wrong. You totally, that person, you said totally the opposite about them. You
It's so true.
don't know what you're
It's so
doing.
true.
Certainly don't get into a book and go, you know what, this stuff, this is bull. This is squat. This is Bigfoot
This is
shit.
exactly it.
Oh,
You
this is
don't do
crap.
it.
Okay, all right. So the same thing I say is this: in the paranormal, work together, be kind to each other, but don't flap this big old trap and run around and talk down to other people. If you're not one of them, if you're not, if you're not one, then don't do it. Just try not to focus on the crap. Who cares? You're right. And I'm not, Daniel, and that's the thing. I don't. I've left, but I'm giving some advice out there from someone who's been stung. It's true. You don't.
Right.
Right. If you're not, and this is, I'm
Exactly.
passing it on. If you haven't been stung yet, I'm passing it on, putting it out there.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%, Keith. I
Be a
really
better
do.
person.
Exactly. You need to, you know what? It's the way that I look at it is this. There are people that I will work with. I have no problems working with them. There are people out there that I don't really care for. There's nothing wrong with that. That's being human.
Right.
That's being human. I don't go out of my way to say he sucks. They suck. This is the way this. I don't want to do that. I don't go out of my way to do that. I just won't work with them. That's all. And a lot of times, I get invited to do stuff. A lot of times, I'll do an event, or they'll invite me to do an event, and I'll see who's on the bill. And I look. I say, you know what? I would rather walk away than start anything. And that's the way it was at one of the spiritualist churches where I served the podium. It became intolerable because for whatever reason, I would be standing up there during during services and doing healings, and I had more people sitting in the booth waiting for me than somebody else.
Right.
Who cares? Who cares? The idea is the work is being done, and people get all emotional about this. And we've talked about this before. It doesn't matter if you're in a church organization, you're in a paranormal organization, you're in a bowling league, you're in a dart league in some dark dank bar someplace. It doesn't matter, because this stuff all creeps up, and it's how we respond to it that's important. Sometimes you just got to say, no, I don't really care. Who cares? You know, ever since I adopted that, Keith, and I'll come right out and tell you, early on, I was a little combative. I really was. I'm not going to lie. It was like I've had enough. And again, that's why I stopped working in Western New York totally. Now, I don't care. I don't care about anything. I don't care about what they do, what they say. It doesn't matter to me. Because why? First of all, I've outlived so many of my detractors. It's amazing. Second of all, I've gone and just been lucky, and and been blessed that I've been able to get picked up by different people and learn different people. You learn from different people and meet different people and be able to go out there and do what I do and have fun with it. But people don't get that. And I think we got Mr. Bailey is frozen. Are you there, frozen? Yeah, he's froze up. Mr. Bailey, if you can hear me, maybe just go and refresh, because that's the way we're going to have to do that, because the internet is being very, very finicky today, guys. So there we are.
Yeah.
We're back. We're back.
Well,
I
I
think he
see
was
it.
doing. I think he was doing that on purpose. I think he was letting me
Oh,
pontificate, and then he was pretending to be frozen.
I know. So Daniel's got some cool stuff in there. He's kind of seeing the chat room. Debbie nailed it yet again. Like Mama used to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, then just keep your mouth. Don't do it.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
and that is the case. Uh, and that's why I've reached out to the ones who I say, look, give me a little insight. I've never had to deal with so much darkness in a field, and they're like, look, and you've given me some. advice Daniel has.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you just brought up a good point. Let's walk down that path. I could sit here and be like ice and melt and cry big old Texas tears about not getting invited to an event. But I'm going to tell you what. Let's look at this. Guess what event I am going to be going to next year, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to Ireland with Mike Rensecker. So what is the loss? What's the
Sage
win?
is good. Sage is really a good event.
Hey, if I don't go to any other event next year, it's no less caffeine in my tea for nothing. I'll drink water with ice instead of with the caffeine to make it tea to go hang out with Mike Rensecker, because I get to investigate castles, other haunted locations. So what's the loss? What's the win? I think that's a pretty good deal. So
I think so too.
But
look at when you think about it, look at the detractors. These detractors, they go and they have this little fiefdom. They have the small fiefdom. Let them have their fiefdom. We've got the rest of the world. This one psychic locally walks up to me and is like, well, what, do you think you're better than the rest of us? I'm looking at her going, what? And this was at an event, not too far away from my house. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, you don't work in Western New York. You don't support anything that goes on in Western New York, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I looked at her. I said, wait a minute. What's the bottom line here? I mean, what did I do to you? And she couldn't answer that. But then in the next breath, she says, well, on my TV show, her local little TV show that he has here, could you come on and do this? And I'm like, I looked at her after she went and ripped me apart a little bit.
She got your jugular and you're bleeding to death. I'll cut you back when I don't die.
But I have I do have a Band-Aid here. Let me put that little Band-Aid after
bleeding artery.
And I looked at her and I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. Your show's on at 11 o'clock at night. Nobody I know that will watch it. I'm going to be totally honest with you. That's why I won't come on. My demographic was at the time, and we didn't have all this fancy video. We were live, being produced out of Detroit, and then we were going to 5 major markets. I looked at her. I said, here's the thing. Buffalo is not one of the major markets. You can't help me. You just insulted me. You just told me that I have something wrong with me, but yet you want me on your show for what reason? You don't have to say yes to everything. Again, you don't have to, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And put at the end of the day, no, it wasn't Christy Daniel. I love Christy.
This Daniel guy.
Christy London, I love her to pieces. But at the end of the day, weigh your successes against their little fiefdom, their little tiny fiefdom that they have locally, with all of your successes, all of your blessings. Come on, take a look at that stuff and say to yourself, you know what? I am satisfied. Okay, let's say they have a fiefdom this big and you have this many successes. You still have these many successes. You got to look at it the right way. And you can't let these people go and break you down, because we all have to understand. Bottom line is, if I succeed, we all succeed. Right. That's exactly it. And Sebastian Black, who is probably one of the best mentalists in the field. He's a I can't ever say it. I was going to say hypnotherapist, but it's easy for me to say that. He is one of the greatest showmen. If anybody, and he's going to be at the Grotto. I forget I don't have the date with me right away, but I want to tell you, he is unbelievable. He goes, I'm just here to learn. This is exactly it. He is right up there with the rest of us. I mean, he is there. He's there for the right reason. And that's why we're all here to do this. We're here to learn. What the hell's why are we going to go and,
well, look at Laura. Laura's Squinrini. Hey, sweetheart, listen, both me and Tim come from that school of love and light and just being that. I definitely, if you haven't figured out by now, I have a very, very cartoon mind. I see a lot of things in comedy, But my career as a firefighter paramedic, I saw a lot of tragedy and death. So my way of dealing with that was comedy in my own
Mm-hmm.
world to try to have some laughter. Yeah, okay, there we go. And stay happy. Yeah, let me have a sure. And stay happy. Stay happy. There you go. Happy. And the reason why is that because there is enough unkindness in this world. In a land not too far away and not too very long ago, I was somewhere else with someone else. And I learned a lot about not only the paranormal field, but I also learned a lot about
Mm-hmm.
myself from this involvement. Now, the great thing about it, folks, is that I'm going to tell you, from every ending can come a new beginning. From an ending, I got to be with one of the kindest people in the world in the name of Kelly Miller. She is a sweetheart. She has
Yes.
got me to where she's calm. Imagine that, calm me, and said, Keith, now you got to be
I can't
careful.
imagine that, Keith. I have never yet seen you calm. Right from the very first time, the first 2 minutes that I met you, you were
Yeah,
you were. I always say that I'm a little bit too big of, in my own britches. I just go, my energy just, peaks. You gave me a run for my money at that event. I am going to be honest with you, and I
well,
was like, "Holy crap! This guy is a Texas whirlwind. This guy's ready to rock and roll
no,
all over the top of me."
well, we had a really cool investigation, and again, thanks so much to our boy there, for having the Hinsdale house,
Yes,
and and opening it up to make it amazing. Daniel Claus is someone I met many years ago now. It's been, God, I've come in maybe up on 5 years, way back when. And then just, yeah, at a Salem con, it's been years ago. And I walked up very, hello, my name's Keith. Will you be my friend? No, anyway. And then he says, oh, I don't know you. Go away. You stink. You smell. Go away. You stepped in cow shit. But no, anyway, he talked. And then I got to learn. I went to some events. And then next thing you know, I started
he's a real deal.
realizing who I wanted to align myself with.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
in that little universe, I started realizing that sometimes when it's all so hidden, yet it's also clear, that really who is there for you when at the end of the day, and they're going to say, "Hey, I got you," rather than
Exactly.
running off and leaving you to the wolves. That's when you know somebody who's going to be there with you and run it. And
Exactly.
that's why I'm blessed to have
Exactly. I
folks
agree
like
with you.
you and Daniel and oh wow, just I'll start crying because I tell you and you look at his, Dustin Perry. Here's another one. Here's this
Oh my
guy.
God.
Now you talk about starting to cry. Well, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there.
You can go there. You can go there because Dustin is one of my favorite people too, and he's got such great hair. I'm going to tell you what, it's amazing what that guy can do. I swear to God,
I'm
he
still trying to
washes
grow
his
it at this time. If I can,
I think
yes,
Dustin washes his hair in Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I think
this
that's how.
guy. Well, speaking of coffee, I still remember a time when Dustin was there, and this poor little kind little child, minuscule of a little human, goes, "Oh!" and the hot cocoa spilled, and Dustin runs over. I come in for backup. Dustin to Keith, Keith to Dustin. We have a spillage. We have a spillage, and we come together and we swoop up the little spill. But it's the little kind acts like Dustin says that makes the dream work, and that was the kind thing. But here's the thing with Dustin. Okay, I, I really adored Dustin from afar, from the kindness that he showed, and at a Paracon at a land not too far away, I listened to his speech, and his
He's
speech
amazing,
go.
isn't he?
But get out your tissues because I know I'm going to lose it.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah. Dustin started talking about his daughter and says, Daddy, if there's a Santa Claus, could there be unicorns? And Dustin was like, yes, sweetheart. If that's it and you want to believe in unicorns, there's unicorns. He got his little ukulele, played a song. I kept saying, I have something in my eye. I have something in my eye. I'll get it here. I'm getting it. I'm fine. But when it was done, I thought to myself, the courageous moment for him to get up there and to tell his story about his travels, but you didn't hear him going on about it's about me, me, me. It is truly about going out there and getting to interact with people and help. You know, both him and I have a passion in this world, and it's for suicide prevention. I
Right.
wrote a template on the national level when I graduated from the National Fire Academy called the Firefighters Mental 360, and it's about fire officers being able to size up their staff who could be going through the outer bands of ideations of suicide. Dustin does it on the level for civilians. I do it for police officers, firefighters, paramedics, military. I take that so close because when someone loses a family member to suicide, it's so instant and it's yet so permanent.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
when that happens, we're left with this horrible, horrible loss. Getting to be that person to keep that from happening is more important than any TV show, any radio show,
Exactly. I agree.
or anything else. So that is what I speak about being kind in this world. That.
Now, I mean, when we start talking about what Dustin did and what Dustin has done, what impresses me is the fact that guys like Dustin used their platform, used their notoriety for a higher purpose, for much higher purpose. And how can you go and not admire somebody like that? How can you not admire somebody who goes out and teaches in high schools and goes and becomes a motivational speaker while having a family, working a challenging day job, but yet he always goes out there and makes time to spread the word. He's always out there to help, and he's one of the most kindest people that I've ever met, and one of the nicest people I've ever met. Well, I mean, you're okay too, Keith, but you pay me to say that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
well, I'll get the check. It's on the way.
yeah, I'll be waiting a long time. The post office slowed down.
I'll be snail mail, huh? And that's really kind of it in a nutshell. Is that we spend so much in life in this grind of coming and going and flying and traveling and driving and doing everything we can. We don't ever sometimes slow down enough to go, why don't we look at that little poor lady who's 70 years old and still having to work, barely push her little cart or walker to go inside and work at the little gas and go or the grocery store.
Right.
And we got 20-year-olds out here saying, life's sad. I just can't deal with it. Take care of me. I'm sorry. I just, that just, it makes my mind sore from thinking about
it. Nobody ever told me that, society was out here to take care of me. That's it. And I'm telling you, we go back to Lilydale. That guy gave me the best advice. Get a job, have a career. And just like Dustin, you can make a difference sometimes by doing little things. And I always tell people, listen, guys, Dustin, knock him dead today, baby. Look at this. I worked out today. I worked out too today. Look at that. Can you see that, Dustin? You're going to the gym, baby. Whoa. You're going to the gym. Look at that. We're ready to go. Someday, Dustin, we'll go to the gym. Keith and I will go to the gym, and we'll be eating like blizzards or something ice cream while you're working
Go,
out.
doesn't go, doesn't go.
That's exactly it. But I mean,
Oh,
I always tell people, you got a purpose in life. You don't know what your purpose in life is. Sometimes your purpose, everybody goes, I have this grand purpose in life,
all
and
magical.
oh my God, yeah. And sometimes, you know what? Your purpose in life should be just to open up the door for a little old lady at the bank. That's all it is sometimes. I mean, life trains you and prepares you to be in that moment at that time. And when it is that time, you perform and you do it. And sometimes it's not huge, but sometimes it's nasty. And you know yourself what it's like. I mean,
Whew.
you know what it's like. Sometimes it's bad, it's horrible, but you are there for that reason. And nobody ever told me that I was going to be given stuff on a silver platter, I mean, nobody ever told me that. So you go out there and you work, and I mean, it just amazes me that. So we were, a show that I produce at Lockport Cable Studios is all about seniors, and they had a wonderful segment about seniors, and it was all about it was a circle of people getting together, helping each other through hard times like deaths and all that. And after the show, we were working on I was working on it, and the lady came up to me and we were talking, and she said, what kind of amazes me, I'm 76 years old. They're willing to pay me $18 an hour at a supermarket to go and stand at a register. And I said to her, I said, well, I mean, they can't get help. And she looked at me, she goes, nobody ever told me that everything was going to get handed to me. And I can't believe that people won't do it. And she goes, maybe all the seniors finally got smart and said, we don't want to work like that anymore. Let the younger people learn a lesson. I started laughing. Let the younger people learn a lesson.
And that's
It's so
so
true,
when you look out there these days and you got these signs, please come to work, $500 sign-on bonus. You got these kids under the age of 25 not wanting to work, and yet parents just, well, they're going through a growing, they're trying to learn, they're trying to all this, and they don't want to work, so they're begging them to come to work. So it's amazing how small acknowledgments can totally change some days for the better, and it can echo onto one person to another. That's a
Exactly.
beautiful statement, Andrea. I don't know if we're friends or not, but I will tell you, like, nice minds think alike. Uh, if we could only just take that moment in time that Rush wrote an album years ago, and the album was Test for Echo. Of course, it's that little uh, before stage you go on, you're practicing, you're making sure you're testing your equipment
Right.
and drumming,
Right.
make sure that the arena's right, you get the right little sound, and then they're like, okay, guys, we're good for a go. House lights start practicing, their show, and then they says, all right, let's run through some songs. Then once they're ready, they go backstage, they're ready for Rock 30, and then once the house light hit, it's all live then. And so there's no takebacks. But, Tim, one of the things you were talking about just here now is that Dorothy and her crew had to walk all the path of the yellow brick road, go through the cornfields and the scary,
Yep.
scarecrow, the Tin Man who scared her until they began to be friends, and then the big lion who turned out to be very kind and sweet. And poor little Toto's going, I just need a place to find a poop. But, here we go, this whole path. I know, finally Toto's where they're taking a poop on the Wicked Witch's line. I'll get you and your little dog, too. But anyway, as it turns out, I know my mind is sizzling. As it turns out, she goes this whole way. She goes the path. She gets there to the Wizard of Oz. It says, knock, knock, knock. Can you please help me? I have so many needs. And he goes, go away. There's nothing to see here. And they're like, wait, we waited the whole way. And finally, he lets him in. He didn't really have those abilities, but he says, I tell you what, I'm going to try in the best way I can to to give you that knowledge. Once that you know you've had it all along, you
Mm-hmm.
had it all along,
Mm-hmm.
then now you can go out. And then at the end, when Glenda delivers the really big news and says, just click your heels 3 times and say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Why didn't you tell me that from the start? I went the whole path, went through the witches, went through the grass, went through all the monsters. Yet she needed to learn those lessons
Lessons.
to get her there. And when it's all said and done, she goes, oh my goodness, I had the abilities all along, and you have a nice heart. You have an education, and you have courage. It's inside us, but yet we have to be the ones to kind of say, okay,
Agreed.
I found it.
Agreed.
And when we do, is when now the darkness kind of opens up and you say, I've had it all along. And I pass it on to people so many times in my speeches when I go, is that you can be the best firefighter, you can be the best paramedic, you could be the best police officer or military and save lives. Learn from your training, stay safe, and take a picture of your family and put it in that locker and know that that's a reason for you to stay safe and go home to your family. Because there's no taking that back when you get hurt and then it's all over and then
Exactly.
it's done
Exactly.
and then it
Exactly.
ends and you die in a fire or get shot or get ran over on a freeway and then all of that was for naught. So
You got to
I'm so
look. People don't look at the big picture. Again, getting back to like the paranormal, they get so consumed and obsessed with the paranormal, this little tiny microcosm that is going on in our lives. This little tiny thing, they're obsessed by it. To them, it's the biggest thing in the world. But in reality, when we look, let's face it, if you gestalt the entire scene, it's minuscule because your life is everywhere else. And that's where we should be living, is everywhere else, not letting the paranormal be the most important things in our
oh my
lives.
goodness. And
And that's
all
what
along
people.
you put your family on the back burner and then
Yep.
when your TV show, YouTube, your radio show or whatever, at the end of the day, you put all that out there and your family gets left and then what's left at the end of the day,
Right.
nothing. And
Right.
they're like, so folks, faith, family, then your friends and your colleagues, but know that there's a hierarchy and putting the paranormal as first is when it comes down to the show about kindness, you will fail. That's the other F.
Exactly.
That's the other
Exactly.
F is fail. You
Exactly.
will fail. And when you
Exactly.
do, you get to look yourself in the mirror in that hotel somewhere where nobody came to your table. Nobody bought your little 2-ply toilet paper with all your writings on it that just fades away. Or your,
Stop
I'm
talking
sorry,
about my books like that, damn it.
yeah, your people's books. Your books are fine, but anyway, and they didn't buy them. They didn't buy them. Well, because they don't like you as a person again, and they like you as a person, they're not going to like your products. So, and Christy's so
Exactly.
sweet. She goes, yes, we still have lessons to learn and goals to accomplish. Our own responsibilities to answer for when this life is over. And yes, this life will be over. You
Exactly.
hear me talk about Christianity and you see the posts that I do. But folks, this month, I lost my dad. I
Yes,
lost
I
my
know. I
twin brother
heard.
and I lost my mom in the month of October. And all those beautiful pictures of my family are gone. And what's left is me and my sister. So you have hopefully your dad, your mom,
Yeah.
your
All these
wife.
people.
You have them. Spend time with them. And then if you get to go out and do other things, then hey, good stuff. I
This
see it.
is exactly it. This is exactly it, Keith, because of the fact that it's like, you know what? Too many people are over there going, well, they're over consumed by it. They're over consumed by this stuff. And it's like, no, this should be really something that really means something to you. Yeah. It should be a passion. Yeah. but it can't be your life. It shouldn't be your life. Your family, everything else around you should be your life. And that's what drives me insane with some people, because don't get me wrong, I love what I do. There's nothing better than getting that personal experience. There's nothing better than recording something. There's nothing better than, and I'll be honest with you, nothing better than being picked up by a network or a production company and watching them and doing it. Yeah. But you know what? In the long run, it's so what? It's like, so what? Who cares?
How
Who
long
cares?
does it? Yeah, how long does that last?
It doesn't last.
You know, you get a
But
little
your
bit
life
more.
lasts. That's what
You
it
get
is.
a little bit
Your
more
family
money
life lasts.
than the fast food restaurant. Then you say, "Oh, I get to go to Paracons, and people are going to come to my table, and they're going to see me, and I'll sign autographs for days. I'll be in pictures. I'll be
That's
so
if they can
well
find
known."
me. I'm never at my table, Keith. I'm never at my table. This year at Sault Ste. Marie, people were walking to my table and taking selfies at my table because and they were all looking, where is Tim Shaw? I am never at my table. Why?
Ladies and
Because
gentlemen, Tim Shaw is now missing. If you find him, please put out some corn chips to get him back to the table. Yeah, but let's or some cigars. Either way, he'll smoke his way. But that's what. So does my friend Bob Christopher. What a great guy as well.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, but I saw a little Satori Halls in here as well.
Oh, I love Satori.
And let me touch on. They were on your show. They were on our show.
Yeah, they're so sweet.
Satori and her sweetheart were Cody earlier this year, as many of you may know, were basically, how would I say, were professionally kind of went after by some people who sadly, unkindly decided to say, well, that's us. That's what we do. Guess what? So do a lot of people in this field do what this other. And you know what? I literally was like, do I need to be on a plane? Who do I need to come visit with, and let's sit down and have coffee? Because I wasn't having it. Thankfully, there were some things taken care of from that end. I started to kind of debrief a little and then diffuse, and then I went through. But two of the kindest people who are my friends, and
exactly.
I wasn't having it. I was like, no, you're not going to do that. So I put some stuff out there, and boy, it didn't take long that the how would I say, the culprits not long thereafter started realizing that it was not the thing to do to literally go after some very people who, you know, were not the people to go after once they found that out. But you know what? Shame on them. I love those two. They are like family to me, just because I met them at Ocean State, and any friend of Dustin's that his friends then become mine because they are great people. So I will just tell you, I'll defend anybody that I have love and respect and kindness for, and I just won't stand for it. So, but that's me.
But no, I mean, I agree with you, Keith, because of the fact that here are two people. Well, let's just like throw everything right out and throw it on the table. Who has the monopoly on what we do? Do you know how many times when I first started doing gallery publicly, you know how many people did gallery publicly? Not a whole lot. I mean, that's what I was trained to do, was gallery. All of a sudden now everybody's doing gallery. Now, should I be offended? Should I be upset that somebody's stepping on my toes? No. It's sort of like, oh, okay. But you know what? This makes you stronger. This makes you better. This makes you go and reinvent yourself, and it becomes a new adventure, and you become so much more than what you were before.
That's a good point.
That's what's so important by it. And Satori and Cody, and I haven't met Miss Satori yet. I will soon. And Cody, I've met, with Dustin when they hit a reindeer in the southern tier, and they ended up having to drive the Buffalo to get a new car. I'm going to tell you what, nicest people in the world. And, we have so much in common, and all of this that went out there, I know it hurt them like it hurts us when we get attacked, but they just sent love out. They just
Yeah.
sent love out. And that's
And
what you have to do. Again, forgive. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to go
and,
and sing kumbaya in the choir with them. You don't.
and
You
it's
just be
and
on a
right.
level playing field.
E-
That's all.
Even the ones who do with that whole back, it's kind of uppity
Yeah.
uppity. You know what? Who cares? Oh, who cares? Who cares? Go be your drink your wine, walk around, be your all that. Go away. Just go away. The real people out there
Respect.
doing investigations, out there doing it, being it, showing it, are the ones who you see a lot of us on here, yourself, and you know what? Past that, if you're down with us, we're going to be the same person when you come up and you say, "Hi, Keith. I've never met you. Hey, how you doing?" I had a lady
Exactly.
this weekend, knowing that I
Exactly.
would tech, couldn't get something to work. I broke it down to her, showed her how it worked, explained how you get your results. She was so happy. But that's what we really do as investigators. We say, "Look, this is how it works. Now you know, and here's how to probably get the best results. This is going to give you false positives, and this is how it's really going to work." Then they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Now I got it." So, but I will tell you what, and putting this all together in summation, here's this. You can reach. I know you can reach out to Tim. You can reach out to me. You can PM me and say, "Hey, Keith, I got a question. I got something, and I'd like you to take a look at it, listen to it, or how does this work?" And I'm going to be like, "Sure, okay, no problem." And if I'm kind of on the fence, hey, Tim, see what you think of this. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
That's because we respect each other's opinion and we're not
See,
in it for
that's the big
ourselves.
thing.
If
That's the
people
big
aren't
thing.
doing that, they're like, "Oh, that's my evidence. It's mine. It's not yours. It's mine. It belongs just to me."
It doesn't belong. Evidence doesn't belong to anybody. Number one.
Folks, so people also, anybody that tells you they own a city, it's their city, that they're the only one who has rights to investigate there.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
folks,
Yeah.
folks, if you ever hear somebody or you look somebody up, and the first thing it says is you're looking and it says blah 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 is a expert, that's a flag. If you ever have anybody who says, "Oh, that's my town, I know all about that," that's a second flag. And folks, the third one is when you start to find out about where have you investigated, where you went in and had resolved and investigated the case, and
Exactly.
they're like, "Oh, well, I just do this." Folks, that's 3 strikes. You're out. Again, going back to it, if that's what you do, if you have a Crayola book and you do that, and you go buy my Crayola book, do that. But don't tell other people who are investigators or researchers because you've got your Crayola books and you're trying to push them out of a Paracon that you're the almighty, because you're not. All
Basic
right. So
Keith, basically the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. We're on a level playing field. Everybody works in different ways. Everybody works in the way that they're comfortable. Yes, there's always going to be people that do what you do. There are no more original ideas out there in the world. So these ideas, all they have to be is morphed, something a little different. That's all, just a little different. Nobody owns anything, and the bottom line is this again, who cares? The idea is for you to keep improving yourself. You don't stop. You go and you just reinvent yourself. Whenever whenever the field gets a little bit too, packed up, I reinvent myself and do something else. I go and you know what the problem is? People don't want to do that. People are too lazy to reinvent themselves. People get to a certain point in their lives and say, "I know enough." No, you don't. You know nothing. You have less than a teardrop of knowledge when you start looking at the overall when it comes to the paranormal and the metaphysical worlds. You have less than a teardrop. So get out there, keep working, and learn something new. And that's what will separate you from the pack. And while you're doing it, again, if somebody's bad mouthing you, forgive them. You don't have to like them, and you don't have to work with them constantly.
right.
Understand that it doesn't matter. You know what, Keith? I don't like you. You're in the booth next to me. Bottom line is this. I don't have to look in your direction. I don't have to say hi. I just need to get in and out of the booth. That's all I need. And that's the bottom line. Let's not go and make World War III happen. Let's not do that. Competition is the worst thing that can happen to the paranormal, and too many people are invoking that on a professional and a non-professional level. And we just have to learn to go and just go with the flow. You know, when I grow, what do we got here? What's Dan writing on here?
If you sell the same shirt at the time, you'll never be able to survive. Need variance and change all the time.
It's true. It's true, Dan. Dan, do you know how many times I got put up next to? I once wrote a companion book to a movie, and I got placed right next to the booth, of the production company that did the movie, and everybody went and bought my book from them, and then came over and had me sign it. I was like, oh my God, you don't sell any books. Bottom line is, you're not there for the money. You're not there to make the money. You're there for the experience. And the experience should be intrinsic with you. You're there for the enjoyment. You're there for the networking. You're there to make friends. You're there to see old friends. That's what it's all about, not making the big bucks. I'll tell you what, Keith, if you saw what Dan has done to Hinsdale, I swear to God, he's taken almost every penny that he has made and reinvested it in that building, and everything he's done. Last time when I was out there last week, Saturday, it took my breath away. I had to write to him and tell him that it took my breath away, and I know what it costs. Being a guy that did concrete, asphalt, did construction and stuff, I know what this stuff costs. I know what it does. And he puts it all back in there. There's a guy that understands the bottom line of it, the bottom line of what it should be all about.
Daniel Claus has the wood from there, and I would still think, and that wood, of course, is the history there. It's soaked up so much energy over the years. Such a great guy, Jeff Fitt, who makes some amazing boxes out there.
Jeff is going to be there this weekend, as a matter of fact.
I would love to be able to take just enough wood to make a box from the Hinsdale house, because I have a picture of me and my brother that I would like to have inside that glass, that oval, and me and him with the Hinsdale, and just make a very memorable special box that. Jeff's a busy guy. He builds a lot of boxes.
Well,
but
I have a couple pieces left. Dan gifted me some pieces of clapboard. Mm-hmm. So after the show or later on, I'll get your address and I'll ship you some.
Well, actually, I want to talk to Dan as well. I would love to see if, I know Jeff's busy. I know he is. But even if he could just put it in the production line, the production line as the process
line. Believe me, he's got a production line.
Write a little tag, because I had a situation before where it was kind of on the table, maybe to get me one. Sadly, there were some things that were going on in my life with the family, so I wasn't as present with keeping up with people, so he had to move on. But with the opportunity to get that. That would really be cool to get to do that. But I tell you, Dan, one of the things about his is that he seems to put such a special spin on with those ingredients from a location, and then combine that to make it like it's a piece of the history of that to there. And I've seen a lot of, hello, folks. If I've got boxes from London and all over, and many others, beautiful handmade. But the thing about not having a Jeff Finn is that it's just like a work of art. I always tell him, it's a piece of art. It is a piece of art. It's like, oh wow, how beautiful. So maybe that day will come, and that'll be an opportunity. It'll be like Christmas is coming soon. Ho ho ho! So maybe. So maybe that might be the
Dan.
Deal. Keith has my. These are just the ones that are there. They're kind of scattered all over, but Anyway, I tell you, this has been a really cleansing experience for me tonight to get to laugh, cry. I think I brought to all over the kind of spectrums of emotions. But folks, I will say this: any chance you get to in this field to go and learn, research, combine that to go to these. I say that the locations we go to are the classrooms to learn from, and then to learn from the investigators there. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you have a team, take that back. And if you do get asked to go to a residential case, take those things and sit them down and try to help someone. And you always will know
Exactly.
you got people like Tim, Daniel, I mean, even myself. Endlessly, we have resources of people that will help someone on a case, because what is it? We want to help those people who are in the worst time of their life in fear from some sort of haunting. So we are not humans if we don't reach out and say we're willing to help somebody in this field. So I will tell you, that's what I live for, is that first. Then I don't mind going to the other places and just hanging out, but my first thing is certainly residential and businesses where people reach out to me and say, hey, I have a haunting, I need help, and then I go and we help. And a lot of my equipment in these Pelican boxes are already loaded. So from out the door to push back to in the air, I can be from Texas to about anywhere within a couple hours and say, here I come.
My number,
Because
my number one target is pizzerias. I help
oh,
I help pizzerias. That's my number one target.
well, then we need to come with me, you, and Daniel again. Daniel wasn't there, I guess, at one time. I don't know if he was there. But what a good time with Tim Molly and James Anito and some other folks that were
Yep.
there. It was a solid time, and we had such a really very cool investigation with a spooky little word that came through. But we won't. But that was crazy. And
No,
don't,
we
we
don't
can't.
we don't say that one. We don't
We don't
that's
say that
one.
one because it was, but it was to hear it. It was like, really? What? No, there's no. But it's nice to know that we were there and had protection. So, but what a great time and what a great time tonight. I guess I cried enough where there's tears on the floor here somewhere. And but yeah, what a great time, and what a nice thing to ask you to come and spend an evening with me, folks. I do have a show with myself and Kelly Miller.
Thank you. I was just getting that. You got to plug yourself, baby, because you're just beautiful.
Talking Tech Paranormal, folks, is a show of love and light between myself and beautiful Kelly Miller, who is an angel in my life. And she does, believe it or not, the talking as far as a lot of the beauty with our guest. And then I kind of plug in a little of the tech. But collectively, what's nice about this show is we are both the host. There's no co-host.
Mm-hmm.
We are together on the show. Before, co-host. New show, we're the host of Talking Tech Paranormal. And
I will say,
that's
Kelly, listen, you're a handsome guy, but Kelly's much better looking than
listen
you.
here.
I'll put it right out there.
Even with drag, I can't do it. People are like, you look like yeah, not a pretty sight. But yeah, what a fun thing. 2022 is gonna find us. No, don't do it. It's ugly. But no,
my God.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't.
Oh.
Hey there, buddy. You want to buy me a beer? We'll talk later.
Oh,
no, anyway.
God.
Yeah, not so good. But Talk Tech Paranormal every other Monday nights. We just had a show last night. We had the amazing Kendall and Vera Welpton on, of course, of Ghost Hunters. And what a great show. And we've got the other ones in the future are going to be just as fun. We're going to be having Tim on. I will tell you soon. In fact, we'll probably talk here very soon. And then we'll have him on, because listen, that's what we do. We support each other. So getting to do that was something so very special. So I want to say thank you all for giving us some love and light tonight. How special is that? I really appreciate it.
Well, I have a special song for you, just for you. And now the end is near,
And so
I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear.
Elvis.
I had to do that for you.
Yes.
Keith, stay on the line so I can thank you properly. And what can I tell you, Keith? You're one of my favorite people. I love it. And whenever we get together, it is like so much energy between the two of us. It's the energetic whatever it is. The energetic
field is just like
the energetic field just gets crazy. The vibrations just go rise. I can feel the energy coming up. I can feel that energy. Can you feel the energy?
I can feel the love.
Can you feel the love?
I feel the love.
Oh my God.
Goodbye.
Stay
Goodbye,
on there for a couple seconds there.
I'm Mel.
Everybody, I gotta just tell you all, this guy is one of the high points of work, of doing the paranormal. He is unbelievable. He's just a wonderful, just a perfect guy. And he is as funny as he was tonight. He is really super serious. He's a very, very serious guy on so many different levels, the spiritual level and the tech level. So I can't think of anybody more that I just enjoy talking to. And I can't thank him enough for coming on the show. And I can't thank each and every one of you for staying tuned. And where have you been tonight? You've been at the Black Cat Lounge where the drinks are watered down. And, well, all the cats are way cool. So remember, guys, next week, Tuesday, Black Cat Lounge, where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. See you guys. Ciao. And be good, baby. Be good, because Keith and I, we're keeping a list. Bye, guys.